Anna at the Sewing Studio here, and in this video I am going to showcase the Janome 6234XL Overlocker. I'm going to talk you through its features, I'll show you everything that comes in the box. Most importantly, I'll show you how to thread it, we'll do some sewing, I'll show you its capabilities, and then talk a bit about warranty and support. Now we've split all of those into chapters, so if you're not able to stay for the whole video, please feel free to head straight to the section that's most relevant to you. And don't forget, if you like what you're watching, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified when we upload a new video. It could be one similar to this on a different model of machine or one of our great sewing tutorials. So the Janome 6234XL is quite a fast overlocker. It sews of speeds up to 1300 stitches per minute, and it's what's known as a 2, 3 or 4 thread overlocker in the overlocking world. And that means you get more of a variety of stitches than you get on just a 3 and 4 thread. So you'll get the standard stitches, so like your 4 thread overlock, a wide 3 thread, narrow 3 thread, you can do pin tucking, gathering, add in elastic, but with the 2 thread you can also do quite a small rolled hem and also flat locking as well. It's nice and simple to use, which you don't hear very often for an overlocker, but the thread paths are all colour coded for you. And then down in under here, when it comes to threading the lower looper, which is usually the most trickiest part, it's got a little gadget that helps you get the thread where it needs to be, with minimal effort. And obviously I will show you that when we get to the sewing section. Now there's dials on the side here where you can change the length of the stitch, and then the other one is for what's called differential feed. So an overlocker has 2 sets of feed teeth, and for most overlocking they'll be moving at the same rate, but you can slow down the speed on the front teeth, and that helps for fabrics that are quite thin and quite tricky to sew with, that tend to pucker. That helps to counteract that. And if you go the other way and make these teeth go faster, that helps with really stretchy fabric that tends to ripple. In effect, you're getting a gathering stitch, sorry, I'm eating my words now. So in effect, you're getting a gathering stitch because it's going faster, so that's how you would gather, but it also helps to counteract the rippling on really stretchy fabric. It's got a knife in here to cut as you go, and that's easily retracted just down in there, and you can change the width of the cut as well with just this dial here. And on the top here there's guides for you to run the edge of your fabric along so that you know you're getting the same distance of seam all the way along your fabric as it's cutting. The presser foot, you are able to adjust the pressure that is on that. There's a little gadget up here that helps you do that, and that's really good again if you're using quite lightweight fabric that can get chewed under the teeth. You can just slacken that pressure off and it helps to feed it through more consistently. Likewise, on the other side of the coin, if it's heavy fabric, you can apply more pressure and that helps to feed it through nice and neatly. Now this machine weighs around 8 kilos and it's got a handy handle in the back there to carry, so it is nice and transportable should you wish to take it out and about to classes and things, or on holiday, something like that. So in terms of what comes in the box, it comes like this, albeit with this thread guide down, and there's some thread on there just to get you started, and there'll also be the standard foot already installed on the machine, as well as a range of accessories and tools. And then you've also got your power lead and foot control, a soft dust cover, an instruction book as well as an instructional DVD, and then you have what's called a trap bin. So this sits on the top here, and that collects all your cuttings as you're going. And then there's also this storage box here, if I can get it open, that way, that fits all these accessories and tools in, and that slots nice and neatly in the front there. So let's get down to business and I'll show you how to thread the machine and we'll do some sewing. So when threading this machine, you want to start from the right and work your way towards the left. So we're going to start with the lower looper, which is colour coded green. So I'm using a green thread to help you with that. So you want to pop the thread, let me just take that out there so I can show you. Pop the thread in the guide at the top there, and then you want to go through these holes here. So you go from the back to the one on the left first, and then go over and from the back again in the one to the right, she says. There it is. And then at this point, you want to make sure your presser foot is up so that the tension discs are open. So your thread can just lay in between those discs. And then I'm going to open up the looper cover down here. And again, we're following the green. So I'm going in behind there. There is a diagram here if you need it. And then you've got green dots on all the bits that you need to thread. So this gadget here, if you're doing 3 and 4 thread overlocking, you can keep it up there. If you're doing 2 thread, you just need to drop it down to there. We're going to be doing 4 thread, so I'm going to leave it up there and then pop my thread in the back and under. And then let me grab the end in this one with the green dot, and again in the top of this one here with the green dot. So I'll pull that through. So now we need to go in the back of the lower looper, which we can't even see at all. So you want to turn the hand wheel until the needles are in the highest position. And then this is the lower looper here. And then what you do, there's a little arrow going that way, is you flick that wheel up, and that reveals 2 more places that you need to thread. So there's a green symbol on here, so you need to get the thread in under that one. And then in this piece here as well. So you just literally lay the thread in and around that piece, flick that back down, and then it's in the back of the looper where it needs to be. And then the last thing on this one is to just go through the eye of the lower looper. Move that in the wrong position now. There we go. Always find that a bit easier. That goes in there. And then just pop it under the upper looper, which is this one here. And around to the back and under the foot. So that's that one threaded. You can just see I've come over the top of that, so I'm just going to move that around. There we go. And then you just, like I say, carry on towards the left. So we've got the upper looper now. So I've already done that piece, so I'm going to come down through the tension discs in that one there, and then I've got a red dot here, so I'm going to go snap it in that guide, and then I've also got a red dot here. Again, it's all written here if you need to. And then through the eye of the looper. There we go. Take the thread out to the back. I'm just going to get hooked on there. There it goes. Nice and simple. It's that one. Onto your needles. So we'll do the right needle first. So you're coming down into here. Again, I'm following the blue dots around, up and over, and then in the right guide there, and behind the guide just at the top of the needles. And then you want to go through the eye of the needle. There it goes. I've got way too much thread out here, but there we are. In under the foot. And then lastly, the left needle, again, following these orange dots around in the left guide, in the guide above the needle there, and then through the eye of the left needle, like so. Okay, so the next stage, before you go putting your foot on the foot pedal and causing a jam up or anything if you've not quite threaded right, just drop the presser foot down and then gently turn the hand wheel towards you, always towards you. And what you're feeling for is to make sure that the hand wheel is moving freely, nothing's getting stuck. That all seems fine. So I'm just going to pop the cover back up, put my foot on the foot pedal. Whilst pulling my chain out, and I can see that's all looping as I want it to, so I'm ready to sew. I'm going to grab some cotton, and then I'm going to start with all the tensions on number 4, and then we'll see what that sews out like. So I'm just going to lift the presser foot and pop the fabric in as far as I can. So it's sat right up against the cutting blade now. And then I'm going to put my foot on the foot pedal. And that was up to full speed there, which, as I said, is 1300 stitches per minute. And there's your nice neat overlock. So you've got your 2 needles sewing your seam, and then your upper looper doing the loops on the top of the fabric, and then the lower looper doing the loops on the bottom of the fabric. And what you're aiming for is for the 2 loops to interlock on the very edge of the fabric. Now I can see that there is a slight gap between the edge of the fabric and the edge of the stitch. So to rectify that, I'm going to increase my cutting width only by a couple of millimeters, and then go again. Just get that thread out of the way. So I'll pop that in. And there is a little cutter on the side there for you to cut your thread. That's the word I'm looking for. And there you go. I can see that sitting much nicer now. And as I say, you're looking for your loops to interlock on the very edge of the fabric. So keeping the tensions on 4 are fine for cotton. Let's move on to some denim. Now in theory, this denim is as stable as the cotton is, so I shouldn't need to change any of the tensions, but you never know. So it's always a good idea to sew a test piece first. Now, as I suspected, it's mostly okay, but again, we've got this bit of bagging on the end here. So I am going to just tighten up both of the loopers. So I'm going to go up to number 5 on those tensions and leave my needle at number 4. And then we'll go again. It's not the quietest overlocker in the world, but it's certainly not the noisiest that I've used ever. And you can see how that's now a much neater result on there. So adjusting those tensions down is the best result for this kind of fabric. And then moving on to a stretchy type. So I've got some fleece here. So I'm going to pop these back to 4, and I always start on 4 across whenever I'm switching between different fabrics. And you always need to test a fabric before you start sewing with it, because they're different for different types of fabric. So this has stretch in it. So I'm just going to go through one layer at the moment. So if you're making a simple blanket out of fleece, something like that, you can just edge it with an overlock. Probably a longer piece of material than I needed, but hey ho. And you can see how that's given a lovely result. It's got a slight little ripple in it if I actually lay it flat. And that's where the differential feed comes in, which is this one here. So if we increase that, let's go to 2 and see what it is. So in effect, we're achieving a gathering stitch, but then that helps to counteract this waviness. So let's go again. And then you can see how that's now sitting nice and flat, there's no rippling. So that's how gathering, in effect, is what you're doing with the machine, helps you to eliminate the ripples on stretchy fabrics. And this does really have quite a bit of stretch in it. So when it comes to bulkier, I'm going to double this up now. And I'm not going to cut as I go, so I'm going to retract the knife. And then I'm basically using the edge of the foot as my guide. And because this is thicker, I'm going to increase my stitch length, just like you would on a sewing machine. And then I'm going to pop the fabric in underneath. I can go back a bit further now because obviously we've not got the cutting blade there. Pop the foot down and make a start. I thought that was going to be quite tricky to feed through as it's so bulky, but actually it's taken it really well. I'll just sort my fold out. Lovely. And there's your nice, neat overlock edge. And as I say, you're looking for the 2 loops to interlock on the very edge of the fabric there. So as I say, it's always good to do a test piece first before you embark on your main project. And I hope that you've just seen that actually you don't need to change the tensions that often for the different types of fabric that you're using, but in some cases it is useful to do it to achieve the best results. This machine comes with 2-year warranty, and in the box there'll be this guide that explains the warranty to you in terms of what's covered and what's not. Now with Janome you can extend the warranty to 5 years if you want to. Well, you can extend it to, so it comes with 2, so you can extend it to 3 or 4 or up to a maximum of 5. And this leaflet explains how to do that and how to register your machine with Janome as well. And don't forget that we're here at the Sewing Studio to help with anything that you might need. We're all sewers ourselves and we use these machines, so we're on hand for any help or guidance and to assist you in any way that we can. So I hope now we've come to the end of this video. I've managed to show you how the Janome 6234 XL Overlocker operates and that it's really not the scary thing to undertake. So if you've decided that this is the right machine for you, great. Head on over to our website and check out with yours now. Delivery is fast and it's also free.